Welcome back to the JohnRex broadcast. I've been gone a while. My bad. I've been busy just with like my personal life. Stuff's gotten a little crazy, but that's life. So I'm back. I'm gonna be working on doing these weekly videos again. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm going unscripted today, if you can't tell. I don't really know exactly what I'm saying, so let's just dive into the next thing, which is I'm wanting to do live streams soon. That'd be pretty cool. The channel name is the JohnRex broadcast, which would apply or imply that I'm doing this live, which I'm not yet. But that's something I want to change. So I'm going to work on that. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's video. Up v down and left v right, and how they are the same in my opinion. So first of all, let's start with what up versus down means, in kind of a political and economic meaning. That is the rich, the owning class, the billionaire class essentially, versus the working class. The working class being, I guess, down on the economic scale. They don't own as much, but we are the majority of the people. And pretty much the meaning with that is, class warfare. And class warfare is a good thing. I believe that, we should be fighting for our rights as the working class. That is something that is very important to me. I value the up v down fight, but I've seen a lot online of people, I'll make a comment about, Republicans, just doing some dumb shit. And then my comment section is flooded with, it's not left v right, it's not left v right, it's up v down, it's up v down. And like, I understand your sentiment, but I need you to hear me out with this next part. Left v right is the same thing as up v down. You just need to look at it from a more broader scale, and I'll explain that. To be right or left wing in the United States of America means something completely different from what it would mean on a wider, broader political spectrum. To be right wing in the United States of America, you at minimum have to be fascist adjacent, if not a fascist or a Nazi. Meanwhile, to be left wing in the United States, you need to be a liberal or a progressive, someone who is still capitalist but believes the system can be reformed. And then, further down the line, there's like the radical left, aka socialists and communists. But if you look at the regular political spectrum, liberals and progressives are still right wing ideologies because they follow capitalism. The threshold of right wing, left wing on a broader, complete political spectrum is, are you capitalist or are you anti capitalist? If you are pro capitalism, then you go to the right wing. But if you are anti capitalist in any form whatsoever, democratic socialist, revolutionary, communist, I don't know, all of that stuff is left wing. But in the United States, it's very different because the window of acceptable politics has shifted so much to the right that, you know, stuff that is still pro capitalist and is just, maybe looking to reform it to maybe make it not so extreme, is considered left wing, which is crazy. To be left wing is to be anti capitalist, is to be anti billionaire in its core essential values, which, might I remind you, is kind of the goal of the down on the up v down scale, is, benefits for the working class, for the people who are down on the economic scale, I suppose, as you would put it. And it's just interesting to me that, all these people will say it's up v down, it's up v down, it's not left versus right, it's not left versus right. Despite the fact it is pretty much the same thing if you think about it. Like, look at who the billionaire class is voting for. It is Donald Trump through and through. And I just wish people would understand when I say, or when I dog on Republicans, I am also dogging on the billionaire class. I am dogging on the people who are up in the up v down, you know. I just wish people would understand that. And I'm not saying, just advocate for your average Democrat. Fuck that. I'm looking for a leftist, a true, genuine leftist, when I vote. And, it kind of sucks because in America, anything, slightly accepting is like, left wing. And, accepting could be, oh, I just don't want to kill gay people. But, that's still, I love billionaires, I love capitalism, I love Israel, it's all this shit, it's all that. And, it's just not enough. So, when I'm dogging on Republicans, just know a lot of my critiques can also be used against the Democrats. I'm not trying to say, when it comes to a corporate Democrat and a fucking Republican, I'm not saying, well, I am saying vote for the Democrat because, they're less extreme than the Republican. But I'm not saying you should be happy with that Democrat. I'm not saying you should accept that Democrat. There is a reason that the DSA is growing right now. There's a reason that the DSA is infiltrating the Democratic Party and using their big name to boost their candidates. That's all I'm saying is honestly, the Republicans, it's very ironclad. It's very locked in, who is able to get in there. The Democrats, it's wide open right now. Corporate Democrats have no idea what to do against Trump, And if they don't know what to do, they're just going to lose because they have nothing to stand on. So it's the perfect time for us to get Democratic Socialists in there to boost up and actually work for the working class because those are the people who will help us when we are down. And that's kind of what I want to hammer home is, yeah, I'm going to advocate for the Democratic Party. That does not mean I support the Democratic Party. I hate Cory Booker. I think he's a terrible politician, I hate, what's his name? I can't even think. The other guy, Hakeem Jeffries. That's the guy I was thinking of. This is just me from editing. Anyway, bye. I do not like most Democrats, but I can recognize that the Democratic Party is a tool for us to get our message, our agenda forward. And we should use that. And honestly, that's just my opinion, is yes, it is up v down, and yes, it is left v right, and it can be the same thing. Because essentially, at the end of the day, it is the same thing. But anyway, that's kind of my thought. I just wanted to rant a little bit, kind of let my thoughts play out about this, because I've been thinking about this over the past couple of days. And I just wanted to share my opinion on it. But thank you for watching the JohnRex broadcast. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos, hopefully next week. Bye!